Welcome back here to MCU Park. It's good to have another Cyclones insider here in the comforts of our own home. I'm Josh Sperber alongside Stu Johnson from the Cyclones Radio Network, here to give you guys a look at what's been going on here in Brooklyn. The Cyclones have been struggling a little bit so far, but they've had some high notes in terms of their prospects being called up to the major leagues. A couple notable ones have been Chris Flexen and Kevin McGowan. Kevin McGowan played for the Cyclones back in 2013, primarily as a reliever, and he made his debut on August 22nd. I know you were here when Flexen was here. What can you tell me about their careers in Brooklyn that kind of showed the signs of them going up to the show?
McGowan was only here for a brief stretch in 2013, and I wasn't here at the time, but I think people who saw him then were impressed with his work ethic, and so it's not a real surprise that after grinding it out in the minor leagues, he's getting a chance now at the major league level. Flexen, a great guy, a later pick for the Mets, and he was here in 2015 on rehab. Very hard worker, a guy from California, and a guy who didn't maybe have premium velocity you'd expect out of a starting pitcher in the major leagues. Now everyone seems to throw 95, 96, but a competitor, good control of his off-speed stuff, and his last three starts for the Mets have been pretty good. 5 and 6 innings, he's given up 1 run, he's gotten his first professional win, so it's really nice to see him rewarded. And during my time here, going back to 2014, that now makes 3 Brooklyn Cyclones who are in the Mets lineup pretty regularly. You've got Ahmed Rosario, Michael Conforto, they both been with the team this year, and then Chris Flexen as well, joining the rotation.
Well, with the injuries the Mets have had, it's good to see some of the youth bring the Mets up and playing really well at this late stage in the year. Unfortunately, the Cyclones have not been playing as well. They've recently been eliminated from the playoffs. We've seen some tough times in and out of MCU Park. And one thing that's really concerned me is the bullpen. We've had a couple of good starting performances from Chris Vile and some other guys that have been undone by a bullpen performance. Stu, what are your thoughts on the state of the Cyclones right now?
It's been tough to piece together a night in which everything's gone well. In the games when they've hit well, they've either had bad pitching or poor defense, and then vice versa on the nights that they've pitched well, and they've been shut out the first 2 games of this series against Hudson Valley, so the offense has started to scuffle. So if it hasn't been one thing, it's been another. The bullpen has been a problem this year, no two ways about it. And in Tri-City over the weekend, they had a 17-hit game where they scored 10 runs, matching a season high in both of those categories, and they still lost. And the next night, they had a lead of 1 run going into the bottom of the 9th inning and ended up giving up a walk-off grand slam to lose that game. So the bullpen has been an issue. So is pretty much everything. 3 errors in the first game of this series against Hudson Valley, 2 last night, and several other misplays on pop-ups that were scored base hits, but certainly were defensive miscues. So that's kind of been the story of the season. 12 straight losses, the most losses overall in the year in Cyclones history, 45 of them now. And it's been a year to forget.
Yeah, Cyclones are currently sitting at the bottom of the Penn League, hoping to at least end the year off on a good note. But something that the fans have been able to enjoy here are the appearances of New York Mets Matt Harvey and Jeurys Familia. We've seen the Mets stars pitch at MCU Park and do very well. Neither of the pitchers let up a run when they were here at MCU Park. I got the chance to be a part of a press conference with the both of them. Let's see how that went. How does rehabbing here in Brooklyn, so close to Citi Field, help you with your process and your road back there?
It was awesome. I'm hoping to get back and catch the end of the game right now. So it was fun. It was really cool to, kind of leave the clubhouse and have all the guys wish me luck, and then, hopefully see him win a ball game tonight.
And you've talked a lot about your rhythm and your timing and how you're trying to get that back into flow. How did having a strong start tonight help you with that?
Yeah, big time. I think, moving forward, I know the pitch count is going to go up, and I don't know if the competition will go up, or if I'm going to, like I said, if I'm going to be here, or if I'm going to be high A or double A or triple A, whatever it is. But to leave on a good note is definitely big moving forward.
The best strike percentage of your minor league rehab so far here in Brooklyn. How does that motivate you going forward in your process?
I mean, I always trying to hit the zone, follow the plan I have with the catcher. Well, the first I always try is to get ahead the hitter, and then going from there.
You've been on a throwing program since you've been in rehab. Tell me what that's been like in your recovery.
I mean, that was good. I've been in Port St. Lucie for the last almost 1 month and 2 weeks doing my throwing program, and every day I feel better and better. And definitely tonight I feel great. I think I'm 100% or close, so we see what happens.
And that was something that was up in the air when you had your surgery. You were thought to be out for maybe even the whole season. What's the possibility of getting back this season with the Mets mean to you?
I mean, for me, it's huge. Going back to the team and finish the season with the team, and giving my confidence back, and they can see what I got too in the same time.
Juris Familia will be reporting back to the Mets and making his first appearance since his injury on Friday against the Nationals. Matt Harvey is expected to continue his rehab down in Port St. Lucie. We wish them the very best going forward and hope for a quick recovery and to see them back with the Mets. Unfortunately, the Cyclones need a lot more help in recovering. They extended their losing streak to 13 games tonight with a 5-2 loss to the Hudson Valley Renegades. The second time this season they've been swept by the Renegades. We saw some ups, some downs. Quint Brody, Dylan Snipes each had a pair of hits, but the Cyclones again continued to struggle with runners in scoring position and with their bullpen not being able to hold any leads. What do you think the Cyclones have to do to turn around and get back on the winning side of things?
Well, they only got the lead one time in this series. They scored a run in the fourth inning to go up 1-0 tonight on a base hit from Carl Stajor. But then the defense, which has been a recurring problem this year, flared up again in the sixth inning. An error from Franklin Correa opened the door for 3 runs in the frame from Hudson Valley. All 3 of the runs were unearned. And that's kind of how it's gone this year for the Cyclones. When they've hit well, they haven't pitched well, or their defense has been poor. We've talked about that throughout the year. And tonight it was the defense that allowed the Renegades to get a lead. And they've been playing really good baseball. And can't take anything away from them. Hudson Valley's won 13 games in a row, and they've done that for a reason. So when you give them an opening by giving them extra outs, they'll take advantage. That's what happened tonight. They went up 3-1. They ended up winning 5-2, and the Cyclones have lost 13 games in a row.
Yeah, we've seen that as a trend a lot this season. The Cyclone starters have given up like 1 or 2 runs, and then the bullpen comes back, couple errors by the defense, and it just all seems to crumble from there. Hopefully the Cyclones will have more success against their next opponent, the Staten Island Yankees, whom they've actually had some success against this season. They're 4-4 so far against the New York Penn League's best. Staten Island is 23-9 at home. They have prospects like Jorge Guzman, Wilkerman Garcia that have helped them do very well this season. They're first in the division and the league itself. What do you think the Cyclones need to do to try and turn it around and get some momentum going against Staten Island?
Well, they'll be facing Guzman for the 3rd time, and he leads the New York Penn League in strikeouts. He's got a fastball that's 98 to 100 miles an hour, so you got to be ready to hit him early in the count. And Brooklyn's actually had some success against Guzman. The last time they faced him was in Staten Island, and they hit the ball the other way very well. They allowed themselves to swing late on that fastball to let it get deep in the box and then drive it out towards the right field in a lot of cases. Carl Stajor, a home run in that ball game, and they ran pretty well too. Guzman's a tall guy. He's got a long stride to home plate. He's a little bit slow to home plate, so if you can get on and then steal against him, that's another way to try to manufacture some offense. So I think they've got to hope to get on the board early against him, try to pick up a lead, and then sustain it with some quality pitching and defense. And they got 3 games against the Yankees, and they've won 4 out of the 8 so far. So the Yankees are one of the few teams the Cyclones have had success against this year, and they'll try to keep that going in the weekend series.
Well, it'll be the last place team against the first place team in the New York Penn League. Cyclones are hoping that some of their newer call-ups from Kingsport, including Jeremy Vasquez, can show some power and have some success against the strong team that is the Staten Island Yankees. Before tonight's game, I had a chance to talk to Jeremy Vasquez about his recent promotion to the Cyclones. Let's see what he had to say. Jeremy, how did starting off your career in Kingsport so close to home help you advance in the minors?
It helped a lot. I mean, getting drafted by the Mets, being so close right there was it's definitely a blessing not to have to go so far. And then when I was going up to Kingsport, it was just a great experience. All those guys welcomed me, and the coaches are amazing up there. And now that I'm here, it's just been awesome.
And what's been a noticeable difference for you in your promotion from Kingsport here to Brooklyn?
Definitely the scenery. Kingsport, Tennessee is a little more southern, I would say, and New York's obviously a big city, and I would have to say the stadiums and fans, we are a little bigger, and a lot more fans come to these games, I would have to say.
Certainly a great atmosphere here at MCU Park. And over your career playing baseball, what's been something for you that you focused on that you knew would be like a key part of your career coming up to the professional level?
I mean, I've always tried to keep it as simple as possible, not think too far ahead or think about the past, just take it one game at a time and just make the most of it and have as much fun as possible playing this game. And I mean, So since my pro career started, that's all I've been trying to do so far.
Jeremy Vasquez has certainly shown a lot of potential for the Cyclones since his call-up in the beginning of August. While he has not hit for the same power he did in Kingsport, he's hitting for a .293 average, just 3 points lower than he did back in the rookie league. He's certainly going to be one to watch going forward, and a good late-round value for the Mets. He was picked in the 28th round of this year's draft. The next time you fans can catch your Brooklyn Cyclones is on Saturday, August 26th, where we'll be playing in a galaxy far, far away. That's right, Saturday is Cyclones Star Wars night, where all the first 2,000 fans will receive a Cyclones mini bat. For all of you who've stayed with Cyclones Insider, thanks for watching, and I'll see you back in Brooklyn.